live again. And the reason is because I'm very grateful that YouTube has eventually put this opportunity for me to slow down because it helps a lot of my thoughts to share with you about this amazing trip. All right, so let's do first things first. And I know a lot of people. All right, a lot of people were asking frequently questions that I have accumulated over the past few days. And let me break down to you for, let me slow down a little bit and answer some of the questions. So, one of the questions that were asked is how to deal with negative thoughts. Why we do have negative thoughts, and it's not easy to get rid of the negative thoughts because sometimes it comes back and it goes, it comes back and it goes. And how to deal with it. There is no easy answer about this, I will say, because everyone's thoughts are different. Every day there are many people have thousands of thoughts, if not some studies said more than 50,000 thoughts per day. So that's a lot. All right. So let me give you a few handle that might catch your phrase. The most important one is finding out why it occurred again, what triggers it, because you have to really go back to the root of it, because otherwise it will grow again. You know, it's like when in your garden, and if you just don't like the weed and you just cut the upper visible part of the weed, the root hasn't been taken care of, haven't get rid of yet, then the weed will still grow regardless how many times you cut the surface. So get rid of the roots, the root cause of your negative thoughts. How to find out most of the time is looking into your childhood. You know, what has happened to you, negative thoughts that occurred to you. Maybe your parents, you know, the most important part is the people that you love the most can also be the most important people that can help you. And then you can go back to forgiving them. Maybe, you know, a long time ago, what happened to your friends or your school mates that bully you or anything else. Forgive them. And once you forgive them, you let go of the negative things that they have done to you. So there is no revenge or resentment. Okay, so that's very, very important to start with. Find out the root cause. The next thing that I will say is your environment. So the negative thoughts come to you is because you are thinking in a low frequency. So low frequency happens most of the time because you're not in the mood, or maybe you're sick, or maybe, you know, it's like a battery of your phone. When it dies down, then you have to recharge it. So it's also time for you to find a way to recharge yourself positively. One way to do that is hang around with people with a very high energy. People who are optimistic, especially young people, you know, like students. That's why you see a lot of people, even the richest people, go back to school to share their thoughts or masterclass for free or anything to students, because then your thoughts will be back to opportunistic, something more positive. All right. So that's the top two things that I will say that can help you rearrange your negative thoughts to change it to a positive one. Another one that I have in mind is also watch the words that you're using. Words are powerful. So let's say that If you say if you've done something wrong, or you apply for a job, it doesn't work, or maybe you do an exam and then you fail in the exam. So anything that cause you to say that you are a failure, they say, oh, I'm a failure. You know, that's why I said, be careful of your words as well, because words are very powerful. And never say that that I am a failure. Never do that. Just pause it and use a positive tone of yourself. Something that inspires you. Something that really can help you grow. Okay, so find someone. If you cannot find anyone, it's just fine. Go on YouTube, listen to anyone that you admire as a positive, high energy person, so that he or she have a high energy affirmation for you that you can use as well. That would be my number 4. You know, so hang around with people with a very high positive energy. It's very good. You know, like people who are maybe comedian or anything that can help you change your mood and your thoughts, especially because these are the people that you need in life, you know, because they are the one that can support you. Like I said, if you don't have it, then listen to those inspirational or motivational speakers. I know people sometimes found it very cliche, but it does help. It maybe will not go down to the root itself, but at least you know that you have to handle your root sooner or later. So last but not least, I will say write it down, because once you write down your negative or your worst thoughts, it become clear, because then you put it out of your head and put it on the piece of paper, and then you understand basically this kind of thoughts happen to me. That, for example, you don't say I'm a failure, say I have a thought of failing this exam, or I have a thought that why I don't get a job, or you know, or maybe a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever it might be. But don't take it too hard for yourself. Okay. So I would say, all in all, is these kind of thoughts, these negative thoughts. Try any method that is applicable to you at the moment. And I would say also that calm yourself down by going away from everyone or everything, just for a while. You know, go to nature, like here, you know, with water. Go to anything, and even your garden is okay. Anywhere that is a little bit outside of your the negative thoughts, the energy itself. Because like Einstein said, everything is energy or matter, you know, energy and matter or whatever. And then you can see that the frequency of the thoughts is very important, because your thoughts leads to your feeling, and your feeling leads to your action, and that's the action leads to the results that you have. So it's very important that your thoughts doesn't have to be positive. I'm not rooting for that as well. I would just say balance, neutrality, and it doesn't break you as much, regardless what happens. Okay, so take a deep breath, meditate, yeah, and also eat very healthy. So don't consume those fast food or anything that's not good for your body. And also for the mind, you know, like I said, read positive books, listen to most positive messages from anywhere that you can get, no matter what kind of source you get. And most importantly is stay calm, because once you stay calm like the water, then nothing is impossible. And I close this with what Bruce Lee says, which is phenomenal and is almost applicable to this kind of negative thoughts, is empty your mind, be formless and shapeless like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you put the water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. All right, so signing off, and catch up with you next week. Bye. Thank you.